Traders are selling the US dollar, expecting that the Fed's aggressive monetary tightening could pave the way for a recession in the US economy. Market participants found a case for concern in the comments of some Fed policymakers. Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta President Raphael Bostic dropped a hint that the Fed would make a pause in the cycle of rate hikes in September. Meanwhile, the market is looking forward to revised data on the US GDP for the first quarter. What other events will make an impact on a trading sentiment at the end of the week? Let's watch a video calendar on InstaForex TV channel. For a start, market participants are alert to the second estimate of the US GDP. According to the first estimate, the US economy failed to expand in the first quarter, but contracted by 1.4% significantly. Analysts suppose that the second estimate could print a bit milder decline, so the national output is expected to drop by 1.3%. And this information will remind traders that the US economy is running the risk of slipping into recession. Such prospects could make the US Fed ease the pace of sharp rate hikes. If the Fed decides to act less aggressively, this will put a strain on the US dollar. Its index surged to the highest levels in 20 years only amid expectations of aggressive monetary tightening, and now the time is right for the US Fed to revise its rhetoric and for the US dollar to make a downward correction. Market participants could be discouraged by the data on the US housing market. The number of pending home sales went down in April across the country. Consumers are reluctant to make costly purchases amid soaring inflation and the high mortgage rates. Economists predict that April will be the fifth month in a row with a negative dynamic. The number of deals sank to the levels of May 2020, when the pandemic was at its peak. Investors will also be able to assess consumption activity in Canada. The report on retail sales is due on Thursday. Following the footsteps of the US Fed, the Bank of Canada also embarked on the path of aggressive monetary tightening. Unlike the United States, no signs of recession have been discovered in Canada yet. And despite high inflation, consumer activity remains robust. Experts reckon that retail sales could have increased by 1.4% in April. This is certainly bullish for the Canadian dollar. A similar report on retail sales from Australia will enable traders to judge the advantage of the Canadian economy. Australia will report on its retail sales for April on Friday. The forecast is cautious. Retail sales are expected to slow down to 0.9% from 1.6% month-on-month. At the same time, investors should welcome the fact of a positive reading on the back of a sky-high inflation. It means that the Australian economy is getting back on track under such complicated global conditions. At the end of the week, investors are anticipating a report on consumer spending in the United States. This data is of a major importance because consumer spending accounts for 2/3 of the whole gross domestic product in the United States. The report may provide fresh evidence that consumption is ebbing away. Thus, the US dollar is likely to close this trading week in the red. You have watched Forex Trader Calendar on InstaForex TV channel. We wish you profitable trading with InstaForex and see you soon!